Welcome to the Fear and Greed Afternoon Report for Monday the 7th of February 2022. I'm Sean Aylmer. Every afternoon we bring you the 5 news items that happened today that you need to know about. Let's jump into it. Story number 1 is all about the market. It was a pretty mixed day on the ASX, with the S&P ASX 200 falling 1% in morning trading, climbing back to parity and then closing down slightly at 7,111 points. In essence, it was the travel companies and GrainCorp doing well and Magellan Financial and ANZ doing poorly. GrainCorp's share price surged after it upgraded earnings forecasts. Magellan's group share price tumbled 11% after boss Hamish Douglass said he was taking a leave of absence for health reasons. More on the travel stocks and ANZ shortly. Oil prices came off a touch over the last 24 hours, though a barrel of Brent is still trading above $90. It's been trading around 7-year highs for a couple of weeks now. The Aussie dollar is worth just a touch under 71 US cents. Story number 2, Prime Minister Scott Morrison this afternoon said the country's international borders will reopen from 21 February. Vaccinated travellers, defined as anyone who has had 2 shots, but not necessarily a booster shot, will be able to come to Australia. Qantas boss Alan Joyce, not surprisingly, welcomed the announcement and said the country was reopened for business. Certainly, the travel and tourism stocks appreciated the announcement. Qantas's share price jumped 4.6%, Flight Centre was up nearly 8%, and corporate travel management rose 7%. Story number 3 is all about ANZ. It provided a quarterly trading update and disappointed investors. It's still struggling to outperform in the mortgage market. Operating costs were flat in contrast to Westpac, which last week said they were falling, and ANZ's profit margins were lower. Initially, the country's 4th largest bank's share price tumbled nearly 5%, though it did recover later in the day. By the end of the session, it was down about 2%. Story number 4 is about online luxury fashion retailer Cettire. Now, you might not have heard of it, but it's gone from a market darling last year to something far, far less. Yesterday, it said it's done a deal to sell through Chinese e-commerce giant JD.com, triggering a 13% jump in its share price. Not bad. But it does follow a big slump last week where the group lost around 25% of value. Now, JD.com is one of the 3 big e-commerce sites in China, commanding a huge audience. The luxury bags, clothing and shoes market in China is forecast to be worth around $150 billion by 2025. That's about 25% of the global market. So good luck to them. And story number 5 comes from the world of sport. Chinese tennis player Peng Shuai has reappeared in public. Now, this is the person who made serious allegations of sexual abuse against a Chinese official and then went quiet. In fact, she pretty much disappeared. Fellow players, tennis authorities, Olympic authorities and others clamoured to find out what had happened to her. Well, Peng Shuai gave an interview to a French newspaper saying she wasn't in hiding or being hidden, and she just hadn't had the capability to respond to all the messages she had received. She also said she hadn't accused anyone of abuse, notwithstanding her original messages say quite the opposite. Very strange. That's it for the afternoon report for Monday the 7th of February 2022. Don't forget to hit follow on the podcast and find Fear and Greed on LinkedIn, Twitter and Facebook. Join Michael Thompson and I tomorrow morning for the Tuesday Fast 5 by Fear and Greed. I'm Sean Aylmer. Enjoy your evening.